What's up, guys? Coach Gaglione here, and this is another edition of our Climb to 185 series. I'm your host, Coach Gaglione, and I've been involved with powerlifting and strength coaching for over 18 years. So I'm gearing up for my next strict curl meet. Did a meet back in 2023, went really well. And I did a tune-up meet recently, which I don't really kind of count at my home gym, just because, it was kind of at home base. So, but anyways, the first video that we're kind of seeing here is kind of the end of like my singles phase. I'm doing 3-week waves on kind of my heavy or my max effort days. So I'm kind of doing a triples focus, a doubles focus, a singles focus, and then I kind of cycle through. So this particular day, I was practicing some longer start commands, and then once I got to like north of 170, I was unsuccessful in kind of having those long start commands, so I just did a regular tempo rep here with around 176 pounds, and it moved pretty good, but I decided I need to get a little bit more patient in the bottom and just kind of practice those commands. So after that, I did some overload work, and I think this is around 184 pounds, just kind of, and then again, did a couple singles there. So I did 3 singles on this particular day. But the good thing is my forearm's been feeling pretty good. Body's been feeling pretty good. So definitely getting accustomed to handling heavier weight more often, just, in that 170 plus range. And then the grip is definitely a factor. So the other thing I've been kind of doing, I wanted to kind of showcase a lot of people. I was like, are you still squatting? Are you still deadlifting? So doing a more dynamic effort style movements, whether it be with a barbell or with a belt squat. So on this particular day, I went up to the bear cave. Been dealing with some kind of personal matters, personal issues. My father had an operation done. I'm not going to get into the specifics on here, but so this was more of a little bit of a mental health day, I would kind of call it, where I just wanted to kind of blow off some steam. So I just kind of went up to the bear cave and just kind of tried to unplug for a little bit and just kind of try to move some weight around. Again, nothing too crazy. Again, focusing more on speed and, form and force production here. But again, making sure that you're more explosive throughout the lower body and just more explosive in general is going to help. Is it the most important thing for strict curl? That remains to be seen, but I do think that being generally strong is always going to help. But so these movements are not the priority. It's still important to have strong legs, strong back, and in particular, your arms, shoulders, and traps, in my opinion, are the most important kind of muscle groups in terms of what's going to actually move the weight. But having a stronger leg strength, I've noticed that it may seem counterintuitive. Sometimes really good bench pressers are good strict curlers, but in terms of like the technical strict curlers, a lot of them are kind of a little more wiry and a little bit more actually built to deadlift. They have a little bit more time to kind of accelerate the bar. They have a little bit more leverage in terms to kind of pull that bar up to that midpoint. So on this particular day, I'm just also working on lowering the weight because I realized that kind of a little bit late, the contest I'm doing actually has 3 commands, so you can kind of see that I'm returning the weight with my back and my glutes in contact with the bench. So I'm kind of practicing some techniques on how I can return the weight, and this has actually been a good thing for me, just because I think it's going to help with my rep work, allowing me to return the weight a little bit more quickly. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm driving my elbows out to return the weight, so basically the reverse of what I'm trying to do. So on the way up, I'm trying to shrug up, so elevate my shoulders, drive my elbows out, and then at the midpoint to the lockout, I'm kind of squeezing my elbows in and then depressing my shoulders down. So again, elbows are out, shoulders are up at the start of the lift. At the midpoint, we are driving the elbows in and bringing the shoulders back down. And the reverse is going to be true on the return of the weight to the lowering phase. So on this particular day, this is more of my dynamic day. I'm trying to do a little bit more of a halting style rep, at least initially. Again, spending a little bit more time in that bottom position. My grip is definitely a weak point. And you can see I'm kind of starting to work up here a little bit, so that was kind of a harder set. So this was, I believe, was my my top set of the day, top double of the day, and I think I just did another set here, and I just tried to improve it a little bit, and I believe this set went, a little bit better. Again, the strict curl is a lot more technical than you would think, so sometimes, and I think I just did, so I did 2 doubles and then a single, and this was around 177 pounds at the top, so I was happy with that. So on this particular day, this is at Gaglione Strength HQ in Farmingdale, so just kind of training in a slightly different environment here. You can see this is kind of a warm-up complex I like to do. I like to do pull, 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 and then pause, 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 and then just some straight up reps. So I'll do pulls, I'll do pauses, and then here I'm just doing some just full range reps. And it doesn't usually look this good with heavier weight, but I'm trying to, again, work on that Knox Power Company technique where it's kind of a pull and a catch. So I worked up, I did some triples on this day, and then I did a top double, a top single, and then I went back down for some more triples. But today I just wanted to kind of work on some technique. I felt pretty good on this day. I was very worn out from directing 2 meets 2 weekends in a row. I'm pretty tired. I've been dealing with some personal stuff. So I think all in all, I think once I can get my stress levels down, start to recover, have a good taper, I should be able to get really close to, if not exceed my goal. But the other good thing is, in the 365 Strong Federation, I do believe I'm in contention for some records. You can see I had 2 pretty good halted reps here. I believe this might be a halted PR double. Not something I'm too concerned on tracking, and then I did a nice strong single with 170 pounds, so I was happy about that. And then I'm just kind of, it's a little bit of a running joke. We have our kind of chickens throughout our Gaglione Strength HQ, just having some fun there. And then I did 170 pounds, which is a little bit more than what my projected opener is going to be. I plan on opening around 165. And I just did some back down sets. I did 2 sets of 3. I was trying to do 3x3 with 2 minutes rest. And you'll kind of see on that last set, I don't know if it was fatigue or I just got out of the groove, but I just elected to just do a double on the last set just because I wasn't feeling. You can also see I'm wearing a bench belt on this day, so I'm kind of still trying to figure out. I do like having the belt on. I think the bench belt might be a good compromise, so it's a little bit less. It's still going to provide some support, but it's not going to quite get in the way. So I'm still kind of deciding what I'm going to do. But for this particular meet, I'm going to wear a full size belt. In the future, I may change that. And then here I did a heavy hold. I think it was around 205, and then. Just showing some accessory work here, some supinated bent over rows, again doing these with my butt, and then some shrugs. So again, the back and the traps and the biceps are going to be really important. So that's it for this week, guys. If you guys enjoyed this style of vlog, let me know. Until next time, stay strong. See you soon.